Hello, welcome to day one of the Resolution Rescue Challenge. My name is Andrea Nordling. I'm so excited that you're here. I cannot wait to take you on a journey of the top 4 things you need to address internally before you change your diet. Before you even worry about food, which is hard for me to say as a nutritionist. I love to talk about food, but before we even go there, there are 4 things that you are going to learn over the next 4 days that are going to significantly accelerate and simplify isn't the right words. Make your weight loss journey easier and more painless, okay? I think that that's what we're all looking for. So I feel pretty safe in saying that you are going to love what we're about to cover over the next 4 days. And when you do, and you want to dive deeper into all of these strategies and implement them into your January, February, March, and so on for meeting all of your goals, I'm also going to show you how we can do that. So this is really exciting. I just know you're going to love this. I work with a lot of women, typically busy, super tired, overscheduled, exhausted, type A, type perfectionist like myself, but any are welcome, of course, who are really struggling with different symptoms that and are unaware that they're all connected together. Weight gain and having weight loss be a struggle is one symptom that generally goes with not sleeping very well, aches and pains in the body that weren't there before, some skin sensitivity or skin issues, thinning hair, all sorts of things, and we can talk more about that later. But all that to say that these are all things that are connected, and when we understand that they're coming from the same root cause issues in the body, if we address those things, which is what I'm pretty passionate about, addressing those root cause foundational issues, we see immense healing all over, feel way better, have way more energy, and can lose weight easily. And that's what we're here to talk about today, the juicy weight loss angle. I have, through my own health journey and the way that I kind of accidentally stumbled into this nutritional therapy practitioner practice that I have now, was through my own desire to figure out food for myself, to figure out why wasn't my body losing weight anymore, doing the exact same things that had always worked for me in the past. They suddenly didn't work. Everything felt hard. I was exhausted. Many of you probably can sympathize with some of these feelings. So if that's you, I get you. I know you, and you're going to love what we are talking about this week. So without further ado, let's get into it. Today we are talking about fungus, aka Candida overgrowth, although there can be different strains, but we normally would call this Candida overgrowth in our intestinal tract, which contributes to a ton of inflammation and seemingly obscure symptoms in our body, one of which being intense cravings for simple carbohydrates and sugar and alcohol. So that all of those things make it really hard to lose weight. Can we just be honest that when you are deep into the Christmas cookies, it's really hard to think about January 1st coming and quitting because our body craves it so much. But at the same time, we know that we feel so much better without the sugar and flour and simple carbs and all that. So that's why you're here. I know that you're here because you want to learn how to make it easier on yourself, to make the changes that you know are going to feel way better. And this is going to be priority number 1, is talking about what's going on inside. So what are the symptoms of Candida overgrowth? I want to talk about this first, and then we're going to backtrack to how this happens and how you can know if this is a root cause of some of the symptoms going on in your body and or your inability to easily lose weight. But first, let's look at what the symptoms are. So I'm going to pull up a website that I linked up in the email you got this morning. If you've not looked at it yet, you're going to just look at your email. You'll get this full link and can read the entire article. Or if you have not subscribed to the actual sign up for the challenge, make sure you do that, and then you'll get the email sent to you. But here is what it looks like. Any of these health issues can be an indication of Candida overgrowth, or an imbalance of microorganisms in our gut, which we'll talk about in a second. Exhaustion, craving for sweets, oh my gosh, bad breath, white coating on the tongue, oh, you know what I'm talking about, brain fog, hormone imbalance, and that can range from infertility to raging PMS and menopause, everything in between. Joint pain, loss of sex drive, chronic sinus and allergy issues. That's a juicy one. Digestive problems like gas, bloating, weak immune system, chronic urinary tract infections, and more. Okay, so that's just a little snippet to get you thinking about all of these different things, in addition to weight loss being difficult, that may be caused by having a candida overgrowth. I would also add that stuff like chronic yeast infections or skin rashes or athlete's feet, same thing. Okay, we could go on for hours, but I'm going to try to keep this video as concise as I can, although I know this will definitely be the longest of the week because this is juicy stuff and you don't have any homework today. Your action item for today, which I'm going to explain in a second, as a way to test your body and find out if you have a candida overgrowth or if you have a likely imbalance like that, is going to be something you do tomorrow morning. So I'll talk about that in a second, but your actual action item for today is going to take place tomorrow. So for today, you sit back, relax, and soak in all of this goodness, okay? Be curious about your body, about your symptoms, about what this all means. All right, so if this is new to your radar, if this is not something that you've talked about, and I can't stop with the hand thing, so sorry guys. If you haven't looked into this or thought about it before, you should know that basically all processes in our body start in our gut. It's fascinating, and I love to talk about this because when I went through my training to become a nutritional therapy practitioner, this was one of the pieces of information that was a huge light bulb to me. It changed how I looked at everything in my own health, with my kids, with my family, with my clients, of course. It's mind-blowing. So I want to make sure that we really talk about this. Our brain health, our mental health, our immune system, the basics of every single thing going on, like hormone production, just all of it starts in our gut. Super fascinating. 80 to 90% of serotonin, which is, as we know, the happy, feel-good hormone chemical in our brain, actually is secreted in our gut. Like, who knew? That's amazing. So it's not a stretch to think, not to think. It's commonly called, the gut is commonly called the second brain for very good reason, because the two are so connected. So understanding what's going on internally in your gut and then supporting it in healing and functioning the very best way possible, like critical for everything, including our immune system. Like I said, now our immune system is also located in our gut. So if you are chronically sick or really struggling with your immunity, and there's so many things that can come from that too, that's a rabbit hole entirely, but if that's a struggle for you, this in particular, need to listen. But purely from a vanity standpoint, and not necessarily a vanity standpoint, could be a mobility standpoint or otherwise. I know for me, I had a huge desire to lose weight, and that was a really like a leading cause of me wanting to figure this out. So if that's you, I totally get that. Looking at the mechanisms going on internally in your gut is going to make losing weight so much easier when you understand this and support it. So that's obviously, what we're talking about today. Okay, let's go back in time. When you were born, in a perfect world, you were freed into this world through the birth canal of your mother, in which she inoculated you with all of the gut flora that you needed in one fell swoop, and your little belly was full of a perfect mix of bacteria and fungus and all lively things working together in harmony to make your immune system work beautifully, and everything else in your body, it was perfect. All right, and then if you lived 200 years ago, 100 years ago, that really wouldn't change throughout your life. You'd keep eating fermented foods, you would eat produce that wasn't quite as sanitary as what we have now, and meat, and you'd keep getting more of those microorganisms into your gut all the time, because that's life, and that's just how it was. But now things are different, and there are things that we do in our daily life that change that chemistry, and although I'm very thankful for some of these things, they also have long-term effects, short-term and long-term effects that we need to talk about. So now in this perfect scenario, if you are kind of, you're thinking about this as I'm going through it. If you or your children were born via C-section, you missed that initial inoculation, and that can be problematic, right? Because now you're working at a disadvantage without the bugs that you needed internally, doing all of the magical things. That's one thing. Taking antibiotics, although I'm very, very grateful for having access to antibiotics and modern medicine, and I'm eternally grateful that we have the options that we do, they really change the chemistry in our guts. So an antibiotic kills bacteria. And when that happens, the rest of what's growing in there is not naturally, there's kind of a natural balance of the 2, 3, 5,000 different kinds of strains keeping each other in check. Well, if you just kill off all of the bacteria, then yeast and funguses and all the other guys can proliferate and grow out of control. Now the balance is way off. And that is the crux of what happens with a candida overgrowth or fungus overgrowth in general. And the way that we see that is sugar cravings, like immense sugar cravings. Hard time losing weight is huge. Immune compromise, digestive issues, lots of hormone imbalances, all kinds of things, like mental illness, feeling the effects mentally, brain fog, that kind of stuff, all can have a root cause of this imbalance that happens internally. So different prescriptions like birth control pills have been shown to really change the balance of things internally with our little army that's working in there on our behalf. Tons of different reasons this happens, and the why isn't as important for today's discussion, although long term it is. Just to know that cravings, like, that's a real thing. That may not be emotional eating all the time. It may not be something mental. It may not be a lack of willpower. There may be something chemically going on in your body that is driving you to reach for sugary things that you wouldn't normally want to be eating, but you feel compelled to do. Not to say we can't fix it, but that makes weight loss really hard. I think we can all be honest about that. So this is important. You need to know if you have candida overgrowth, if you have a fungus that's going crazy internally, and probably for most of us, we do. If you've had a course of antibiotics, if you've taken birth control pills, there's a really good chance that things have been altered and could stand to be corrected a little bit. This is not a stretch at all. But to know for sure, you're going to test. So in today's email, you have the link to full instructions on how to do the Candida spit test. It's fun, you guys. This is DIY at its finest, although I love a good DIY, so I hope you appreciate it. You are going to, tomorrow morning, test your saliva, and it's going to tell you if there's a good probability that you have candida or other yeast or fungus overgrowth happening internally, and if that may be the cause of some of your other symptoms, and if that may be contributing to weight loss being really hard for you. They all go together. Okay, so here, and again, you have all of the instructions on how to do this, so I'm not going to give you the full deal. You have to look in your email, but you're going to put water in a glass. Maybe you have real glasses and you don't use mason jars. I don't know, but we use mason jars around here. You're going to put water in here, and you are going to spit into that first thing tomorrow morning. Before you take a drink of water, before you brush your teeth, like fresh out of bed, morning breath, all of it, glob of spit into the water, and then based on what happens after that, you're going to know what is going on behind the scenes internally, which is super cool. All right, so again, all the instructions you have in your email. If you haven't signed up for the challenge yet, you can click on the link in this video, and then you'll get that sent to your email. So that is your action step. For today, for the challenge, is actually tomorrow morning. You will be testing your spit, and you are going to know exactly how probable it is that some sort of an overgrowth is contributing to some of your symptoms. And then we will be talking about in a few days how to fix that. So right now it's just a matter of connecting the dots, being curious about what's going on in your body, and having a little bit more awareness of the chemical behind the scenes battles. Battles sounds dangerous, but I'm going to go with battles. The things going on internally that drive our cravings, our actions, our feelings, our thoughts, all of that stuff but sometimes it has internal factors you may not be aware of. So that is really cool. Let me look at my notes, make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Yeah. All right. So you should be good to go. And I'm really excited because tomorrow we are diving deep into how our body is protecting us from poison within and how that's important in terms of weight loss, which is juicy stuff. But today, like I said, it's all about the gut. So if you have not already, you're going to go to the Facebook post and comment with the most intriguing thing that you learned today in this video. That will enter you into the giveaway for the week, which I'm also very excited about. Each day we're doing a giveaway, and I am going to be giving membership into the new membership site and the full weight loss program that is upcoming. You're going to be hearing about it in a few days. I'm going to give a membership for free each day based on the winner will be chosen from the comments in the Facebook post. So to enter, each comment gets an entry. You're going to go comment with the thing that you learned today that was the most intriguing to you or thought-provoking, and that will count as a giveaway entry. All right, so that's it for today, guys. How fun is that? We're thinking about what's going on inside and how it matters in terms of losing some pounds. All right, see you tomorrow.